Hello and welcome to my video essay on creative storytelling. In this video, I'll be taking you through two of my stories from start to finish to show you how I developed stories from inspiration to storytelling techniques, and then finally, I'll tell you what I think about my finished products. Let's start with our first film, All the Time in the World. The inspirational process for this film was fairly simple, due to the fact we were assigned a world-building task. We looked at the show Black Mirror for its dystopian-style worlds. We love playing with the idea of unintended consequences on a society due to the advancements of technology which they use to try and fix a problem. This juxtaposition adds to the tragedy it creates, and it struck a creative chord with us. But of course, not all ideas make it to the final cut, and so we should continue this topic later. In regards to storytelling techniques, as it was our first film and we are new to storytelling, we didn't employ too many techniques. We started with a linear structure and a drug that increases people's life expectancy, but has a trade-off of making them more insane the more they use it. We included a character and an antagonist, both of who are victims of a society not fully thinking through all of the outcomes of a new technology. We chose this tragic scenario to make the events more impactful to the audience, to push the message, and to do what all good films should do, to try and make the audience feel something. In conclusion, the story could have been much clearer. Part of this was down to the lack of world building about the nature of the drug. We never reasonably explained what the drug did or why it was there. There were also too many characters doing too many things for a 3-minute film. I think we'd have a much tidier and easier to follow story if we just focused on one main character and made the antagonist solely the technology rather than spending time developing the relationship between protagonist and antagonist. For our second film, I'm going to veer off and talk about a different story. For our second film, we approached the creative process slightly differently, as we had some problems leading naturally, and we had some contradicting ideas, so we decided to go off and come up with a fully developed idea on our own. Then we would vote for the idea, and then that would be turned into a script. So I partnered up and we created a story, and for now, let's call it Lucky Charms. Lucky Charms was inspired by films like Mrs. Doubtfire and Bruce Almighty, both comedies but took themselves seriously and attempted to teach something meaningful and often traditional in value. This is something we wanted to replicate in our own story. In Lucky Charms, the main character learns, after trying to force a relationship with an attractive girl he has nothing in common with, that the best approach is to look for a genuine connection with someone he doesn't have to wear a mask for. As the task was conventional storytelling, we chose to go with a traditional structure, using the simple hero's journey as the backbone of our story. We had to adapt the structure to fit into a short film, but the main components are still there. First, the hero is happy within the status quo before something comes along and disrupts it. In our story, our main character Aaron is temporarily given the superpower of luck. Then they are called to adventure. This happens when Aaron gets a date with a hot girl he used to know from high school. Then the character is immediately thrown into conflict when Aaron's superpower, luck, runs out. This results in him taking action to resolve the conflict. Aaron goes out and buys a load of Lucky Charms. He looks ridiculous, but it works. Everyone likes him again. He arrives at the date, however, to find out his luck has run out, and his date rejects his silly outfit and goes home. Aaron is left ruined. This is the abyss. His character's death. Then on the way home, he sparks up a genuine conversation with a stranger. Romance blossoms immediately. Aaron learns how to have a genuine relationship and learns an important life lesson. His character is reborn. This is almost half of the hero's journey, but I think it's effective because it ends with the character's rebirth. And so this gives the audience a sense of closure, and endings are often the hardest part of the story to get right. Now, to reflect on the quality of the final outcome, I'll return to our actual second film, A Picture from a Dream. This film saw an ordinary working bachelor at the bottom of the hierarchy gain an obsession over a girl he keeps returning to in his dreams. Little does he know that this girl actually exists, and that she's just been planted in his dreams by his landlord and her son, who are trying to frame him for the murder of the girl. Now, I know this already sounds complicated, and that's actually one of my biggest criticisms of the piece. It doesn't follow any structure, but instead plays out more like a Sherlock Holmes novel. We also found our first draft when editing to be too long, 3 times too long. The main characters also have no development whatsoever, even though they're given such large amounts of screen time. They are simply plot points. However, I do like the revealing of the landlord's questionable motives right from the start, as I believe this adds tension and pulls the viewers in. It's a question of revealing it at the start or at the end. However, I do believe that revealing it at the start takes away an opportunity to have a twist at the end. And short films often rely on twists as they have little time for character development. That concludes my essay. Thank you for listening.